I'm glad I decided to put off doing this review until after I watched Impact this week, because a lot of crazy stuff has happened in TNA in both shows, Bound for Glory and Impact this week. In fact, Bound for Glory could also be called Botchamania the pay-per-view, because there were so many botches in that show. Um, some botches I noticed first time watching the pay-per-view, and the other botches I caught while watching Botchamania this week. One of the Botchamanias released this week, which was number 188, I believe. The most of that Botchamania included Bound for Glory 2011. Yeah, that'll tell you how botchy this pay-per-view was. Um, I didn't even watch the first match, X Division Championship match. Austin Aries won that match, by the way. Um, Next match was Full Metal Mayhem, Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn. Um, this was a pretty good match, actually, but I caught one botch first time watching it. Jerry Lynn was trying to do a sunset flip powerbomb on RVD through a ladder that was set up outside the ring, but he missed the ladder. And the match ended when RVD did a coast to coast, I guess, drop kick with the chair in front of him, and pretty much destroyed Jerry Lynn with that move. Um, the thing is, after the match, they celebrated and shook hands, and I thought these two were supposed to hate each other. I mean, they had big rivalry stemming back from the original ECW, and yeah, I suspected them to hate each other, but instead they shook hands after the match, so I don't know what's going on with that. Um, Next match was a triple threat match, Samoa Joe versus Crimson versus Matt Morgan. This was actually a decent match. Crimson won the match, but towards the end of the match, Morgan tried the carbon footprint. Joe dodged it, but then Crimson hit the spear on Samoa Joe and pinned him for the win. I imagine people are getting tired of seeing Crimson winning all the time, but I think he's a pretty decent wrestler. Not great. He kind of reminds me of Goldberg, even though I read about him saying that he's tired of being compared to Bill Goldberg, but I can't help see the resemblance. Um, Next match was Falls Count Anywhere match, Bully Ray versus Mr. Anderson. Yeah, I'd noticed a few botches in this match, notably towards the end. Towards the end of the match, there was a table set up on the outside the ring. Anderson put Bully Ray on top of the table. Then Anderson did like a swanton bomb on Ray, but the table didn't break. The table didn't break. Botchamania moment. But he remedied that by getting Bully Ray off the table and doing the mic check through the table for the win. Um, then it's revealed that the referee Jackson James is actually Eric Bischoff's son. What's his name? Garrett Bischoff, I think. Yeah, this is pretty evident for a long time, so no big surprise there. Next match was the Knockouts Championship match. Velvet Sky versus Madison Rain versus Mickey James versus Winter with Karen Jarrett as the special referee. Um, Velvet Sky won the championship. Congratulations to her for winning. I know she's been in the company a long time. This is her only first singles championship so far. So congratulations to Velvet Sky for that win. The match was a bit hard to follow, but nevertheless, congratulations to Velvet Sky. Next up was at the I Quit match between AJ Styles and Daniels. This was a pretty good match until the ending, but the ending saw Daniels in the corner. AJ got a screwdriver that was used previously in the match. He was walking up to Daniels. Daniels took the microphone and said, "I quit, I quit." Then that was it. Daniels was acting like a pussy, like a coward, and he was basically acting the typical cowardly pussy heel like Christian. I do not like that type of heel. That's cheap heat, in my opinion. Thing is, after the match, while AJ was walking up the entrance ramp, um, Daniels attacked him from behind. So this rivalry is not over yet, even though I think it should be. But nevertheless, next up was Jeff Jarrett coming out to the ring, calling out Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy came out to a new song. They start to talk, but then they quickly get into a fight. Then the security breaks it. Security comes out to break up the fight. The thing is, when D'Lo Brown and Al Snow, some other guys came out, they actually got a bigger reaction than Hardy and Jarrett. People actually started chanting D'Lo, D'Lo, which says a lot about this Jarrett Hardy rivalry. People are not buying it. I don't know if it's because people are still feeling animosity towards Jeff Hardy for what he did at Victory Road earlier this year, or his brother Matt Hardy's fake suicide note, which he probably had nothing to do with, but anyways, people are not buying it. Next up was Sting versus Hulk Hogan. If Hulk Hogan loses, TNA goes back to Dixie Carter. The referee is Jackson James, aka Garrett Bischoff. Sorry, got a little tongue-tied there. Anyways, early in the match, Hulk Hogan quickly ushers out Ric Flair from the backstage area. They attack each other. Apparently, it's a no disqualification match because they use weapons, low blows. There's blood involved, which I like to see. Hogan got busted open. Sting got busted open. The thing is, towards the end of the match, Sting won the match with a Scorpion Deathlock, and Hulk Hogan tapped out. But after the match, the rest of Immortal came out and started to beat down on Sting. And during the beatdown, Hulk Hogan was in the corner watching, and Sting crawled up to Hulk Hogan. It's like, help me, Hulk. And then the crowd starting to chant for Hulk Hogan to help out Sting, and then Hulk Hogan hulked up, and he attacked Immortal. And I was thinking, what the hell? Suddenly he turned face just like that, literally at the snap of fingers. Anyways, that was pretty surprising, not in a good way. I mean, and the explanation for this I'll get to later in my thoughts for Impact this week. But anyways, I'll get up to the last match, which was one of the most disappointing matches of the night, which is also the match that I was looking forward to the most. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle. Bobby Roode has been built up this whole time since winning the Bound for Glory series. I mean, the Bound for Glory series was announced earlier this year. Whoever would win it would get a championship match at Bound for Glory. Bobby Roode won it. Then, the thing is, I heard Kurt Angle was actually injured during this match, or beforehand, I'm not sure. But, up till the ending, it was a pretty decent match. With Bobby Roode trying to get in several submissions on Kurt Angle, then Kurt Angle getting the Angle Slam several times, but Bobby kicked out every time. The thing is, the finish of the match saw Kurt Angle hitting the Angle Slam. Bobby Roode rolled towards the ropes. Kurt Angle covered Bobby Roode while grabbing onto one of the ropes. And at the same time, one of Bobby Roode's arms was under the rope, breaking the plane of the rope, so that should count as a rope break. But the referee didn't see either of those things. He counted 1, 2, 3, and Kurt Angle retains the championship. Just like that, all that build-up for Bobby Roode destroyed. All those months. And I was expecting Bobby Roode to win, especially after watching all that build-up with his interviews with his family and all that. However, with that being said, it was better than WWE's last 2 pay-per-views. And the complaints I had were the disappointing endings to the Bobby Roode-Kurt Angle match, Hogan's sudden face turn. I mean, literally abrupt. And the ending of the AJ Styles Daniels match, everything else was decent at best. Now for Impact. Impact was, I don't know how to describe it. Okay, the evening started off with Hulk Hogan and Sting talking about how they won the company back at Bound for Glory, and how Hulk Hogan turned face. He said that he turned to good again, became the old Hulk Hogan, in his words, when he saw what he had become, when he saw the rest of Immortal doing the beatdown on Sting. And I was thinking, what about all the other beatdowns? It took this beatdown to convince you that you would become the devil? To convince you that what you've been doing was wrong this whole time? And it was just confusing. And that's not even the clincher, though. What happened later? Okay, Bobby Roode came out, confronted Kurt Angle. He's talking about how he was screwed at Bound for Glory, which he was, and he said he wanted a rematch later that night. Well, Sting was about to give him the rematch since Sting was given control of Impact, the television show. But Kurt Angle said that there's a stipulation in a contract which said that Bobby Roode would only get to face him once. And then James Storm came out. He said there was nothing in the contract about James Storm getting a title match. So Sting made the match for later that night between James Storm and Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. I was thinking that there's no way James Storm can win because he hardly had any build up. I mean, he literally came out of nowhere with his title shot, and he didn't even win the Bound for Glory series. I mean, he was in it, but I don't remember what place he ranked in, but I think he's one of the top people, but I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, moving on. Towards the end of the evening, they had their match, and the thing is, the match did not last that long. It was only a minute and a half. I was thinking, what the fuck? Okay, the match ended. Kurt Angle was having the advantage throughout the entire minute and a half, but at the end, James Storm hit the super kick and covered Kurt Angle for the 1-2-3, and then boom, out of fucking nowhere, James Storm is the World Heavyweight Champion with hardly any build up or anything like that. I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's the champion. At the same time, what the fuck happened to Bobby Roode's build up? All that was literally for nothing. The Bound for Glory series was for nothing. All those months of matches in the Bound for Glory series around the world was shot to nothing. I mean, in a minute and a half World Heavyweight Championship match? You got to be kidding me. That's a disgrace. I mean, I don't know what the hell to think of TNA right now. They're obviously trying to set something up between Bobby Roode and James Storm. That could be an interesting rivalry, but right now I'm not really thinking about that because Bobby Roode deserved that championship. He was built up so well. He won the Bound for Glory series, and that amounted to nothing. Just one night, a minute and a half, James Storm wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to say about TNA right now. I'm just in awe. And on a side note, I don't even know if I'm going to watch Vengeance. There's just too many pay-per-views going on. Even though I don't pay to watch them, I'll say that. I'm not embarrassed to say that I watch the pay-per-views for free. But regardless, there's just too many pay-per-views going on, and even if I do watch it, I don't know if I'll do a review video. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. What the fuck, TNA? That's all I got to say about Impact Wrestling this week, aka TNA Wrestling. So, thanks for watching. This is Mr. Mir. Keep on hanging in there, everyone.